get your chance to be heard, pass by, spell out. Let me hear you loud, crowd. Shout it out real loud. Everybody wake up. Shout it out real loud. Everybody wake up. Wake up. No time for sleeping on the issues. This is Neutral Voices. We gon' deal with the issues. What do you really want, what they want?
V, and this is In Depth, where we dig deep in the trenches of what matters. Tonight, we are having a great conversation about me.
Oh, I don't
No, just kidding. About femininity.
Wow.
Femininity.
Femininity. Say that word twice.
I know.
Femininity.
The different types of femininity. Femininity. No. Yeah, that was really tricky. So with that, and we have one guy on the panel tonight. Uh-oh, look out, E. This is going to be fun. And I am surrounded by what the community believes to be femininity. So I took a little survey, and I asked people of all ages, what do you think about, what comes to mind when you hear the word femininity or feminine? And so some people said chocolate or flowers or perfume or fluffy animals and bubble baths and makeup and lipstick and the color pink. I think about 7 or 8 people said pink. I was like, wow, really? But perfume and all of the beautiful things you see up here, pearls and jewelry and all that stuff.
Oh, so that's feminine stuff. I'm just
well,
asking,
you can enjoy it.
I'm asking for a friend, and you say, "Now throw this whole thing of water on you." I will throw this water on you. Go ahead. You can see what? You can see what?
Jill.
Okay, let's go.
What is the first thing you think about when you hear femininity or feminine?
So when I think of, for example, like a woman who is feminine, I think of a like softness, nurturing, kind, non-confrontational. I think of more, since you covered the visual, someone who dresses nice. So like I have a picture in my head, and then I have like the feelings on what I consider to be. Yes, yes, exactly.
Okay, beautiful. And we're going to talk about all of those things, too. E, what comes to mind, for real, when you hear femininity? What comes to mind?
A woman.
A woman. A particular type of woman? Or just all women?
Proverbs 31 woman.
Oh, you're going to go there. Go now. What you know about that?
Because she's everything that's checked off in the femininity list.
Not necessarily,
yes,
but we're going to talk about that.
But to a man,
we're going to talk about that.
And that's the difference. It's a difference between a man's perspective and a woman's.
I know. That's what I love.
That's what I want to know.
To me, that makes. That's what
makes a woman, a feminine woman.
No,
to you.
I mean a woman, because she's strong, she's a nurturer, she's a caregiver, and she's a hustler.
She's all of that, and I got her listed right here. We gonna talk about the Proverbs 31 woman.
My question is this to you ladies.
Okay,
why do so many women? Why are there that word groups that don't want to be described as feminine?
Well,
for the same, I would say
it was a hush over the crowd.
For the same reasons, like that there are activists. So like there are a lot of so feminine and a feminist. If you're going over to that side, is more about, like, in my opinion, like women who think we should have equal rights as men.
That's
the
for
same
a stance.
Exactly. So I don't personally feel that way, but that is what.
But they also have feminine groups that think anything that has to do with femininity is wrong.
Correct.
Right. But yeah, so we're going to save that for a more of a political type.
It's not. No, it lines right up with this one.
Well, I'm saying, but you did say that there's those type that want to line. So I'm saying, are we talking about people that are bisexual or?
No, we talking about females that don't think about the nurturing.
Like they're a real woman.
Because they want to be a bad bee. They want to be
they want to be that. But to understand the true understanding of a feminist woman, they don't like that idea of being called a feminist woman.
Yeah.
You mean being called feminine or referred to as feminine?
Period. All of that. I mean,
okay.
check those.
I'm trying to think about those type of women. Are you thinking about like?
They have like groups that are female, that are female, 100% female, but don't like to be called a feminine female. You know what I'm saying?
What do they want to be called?
If you call them a feminine female, you putting them in a group.
Oh.
Well, we're supposed to be in that group.
I'm just asking a question.
And so I'm
asking for a friend.
As we have, and we will look a little deeper in the subject and the title about all the types of femininity, then we will probably have a discussion about that. Now, I want to bring to your attention that although I have all this girly stuff, which is another term for the femininity that I'm talking about, the girly side, and we're going to get into some other stuff, I also have this here, which I'm sure some women could relate to. I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but there's some women out there, even feminine women, who could relate to this side of a woman. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to talk about the different sides, because for women, and men will say, this is so true, we have so many different sides to us, and we can purposely be one
crazy
or the other.
Crazy.
No, I'm saying, see, I know, that's what, we can put him on. But no, when I'm saying that, what I'm saying is sometimes we feel like, doing our hair all up in curls and lashes, and we all done up with our nails and etc. Sometimes we feel like that, but then sometimes we feel like putting on a baseball cap and we got a ponytail and some sweats, and we chill like that. So I'm saying then we know how to be a certain way when we walking in our sweats versus walking in our stilettos. So I'm saying we can
some
do
of y'all
that.
can't walk in stilettos.
I agree. Some people cannot.
I've seen some knock-knee stiletto walkers. I'm just saying.
Listen,
it's an art.
Your voices. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about femininity, and I'm sure with E on the panel, we could be talking about anything. So now we're talking about some knock-knee stiletto walking women.
Meanwhile, and everything.
Meanwhile, let me give you the definition of femininity. This is one of the words I have really never looked up, because I felt like I live this. I don't need to look up the definition, but I was really glad that I did. Femininity refers to qualities or attributes traditionally is the key here, associated with being female or womanly, such as gentleness, empathy, sensitivity, nurturing, and grace. Okay, let that sit for a minute. Grace, what does that look like?
A lot of people
okay,
don't have
it can
that one.
also refer to the cultural and societal expectations and norms surrounding femininity, including behaviors and attitudes, as well as appearances that are considered characteristics of. So, some people may have some of the characteristics, not all of them. Some people, they may, here's one, they're very domesticated.
Yes.
Which is another level of femininity. They love to clean the house and do the house chores and mix the cornbread and make homemade cakes, and they like aprons and they like mitts.
Cross me off that one. I'm not that.
And they love that. That just makes their day to be able to do that. Where you have another group of women that are still feminine, who are like, oh no, I need my briefcase. I need my car keys. I'm headed to the office right now. The boss, but still feminine. And so I'm saying, so there's so many sides. So when I was looking at this definition, I was like, ooh, it's so good that it had all those beautiful things and nurturing and grace. And then it got to including different behaviors and attitudes and all these different experiences. So I want to talk about these 4 archetypes of femininity. And I'll start with, and see if you can find somebody in this one. And I'll tell you the four in case you tune out for a second. The mother, the warrior, the wise woman, and the lover. Which one are you, ladies? Watch this. The mother. Jill, you mentioned some things, some qualities you said that come to mind when you think of femininity. You are a mother. When you hear the mother, what do you think the mother actually is concerned about?
What we should
As
be.
this mother. Let's see how
again,
close you get.
Nurturing, caring, just the mother, right? Just the mother.
Just the mother.
Nurturing, caring, empathetic,
Yes.
understanding. I should care about teaching her how to act like a lady, how to sit, manners, mannerism.
You know something? I'm gonna ask you a question.
That's good.
I'm gonna ask you a question. What that look like?
What?
In my opinion, so like so I have a dress on, for example, so like sitting with your legs crossed. I don't know. I just think there's like a certain way that women should present themselves when they're sitting, or like you said, walking in heel, like everything, all of that, mannerisms.
Let me insert something right there when you said legs crossed or legs closed. If you have on certain certain
Material.
type skirts, dresses, even certain slacks. But meanwhile, okay, some women would argue I don't cross my legs because my doctor say it's not healthy. So I just want to put that out there because some people don't know that. Meanwhile, with the mother, you said all of the great things. And so just in case you're listening and you're like, you're saying them, you know, there's some, because I know my sister, I'm going to call you out. This is a beautiful one, but it can wear you out. Compassionate and unconditional. So when your child is going through some things, it doesn't matter what, you're going to make some things happen. You're going to get up out of your bed any time of night, and you're going to do what it takes yes, and unconditional, no matter what. When you should be chastising or punishing, you don't, because love gets in the way sometimes. So unconditional love, but also protection. Mama. And do you realize, watch this, mama, emotional support and symbolizing, watch this, the capacity to bring forth life and to sustain it. And I think that's what mothers that I know, that's what they do on a regular basis.
Yes.
They feel like they got to, I brought you in this world, I got to keep you all the way through, coming to the rescue. And then they take that same mentality into a relationship, and now they are mothering their man. So there's the mother. The warrior embodies strength, courage, and resilience.
That's the hustler.
Is that the hustler you were talking about?
That's the hustler.
Listen, this might be ability to stand up for oneself and others. You know these people, right? To fight for justice and truth, and to overcome obstacles, challenges with determination and bravery. Ooh, you're going to find yourself in here somewhere, right? When you hear these, you like, I can connect to this.
I can pick some things out.
You can pick some things out. Yeah. E, do you know anybody so far that fits that description? I mean, you don't have to talk about them, but I'm saying it's fitting. Yep. And that's exactly what I was thinking.
With all the attributes of being a feminine woman, I know plenty of female like that, but also know plenty of female that I know a few that don't deny. I mean, don't want to be called a feminine woman,
right? And
because for some odd reason, it's like. That's a bad thing. Yeah, that's a negative thing.
That's interesting.
And it's crazy because if you look at it from a male standpoint, and I'm just going to talk to you from a man's standpoint.
Okay. Let me take it.
With a woman that has their feminine side and still can be strong and still can withstand the storm, there's nothing wrong with showing your weakness, because sometimes your weakness is your strength. And some females don't get that, don't understand that, because it's simple fact, I could do anything a man can do, or I could do. Those type of females be like, I be like, shut up, please.
Yeah.
Just hush your face, because at the end of the day, when things get rough, when a true man stands up, the world backs down.
Well, I'll just tell you, maybe sometimes those women haven't had the right man to be in their lives.
But here's the funny part: when you say, "I don't need a man,"
right, and some people might say that.
I don't need no man to do nothing. For, I don't need no.
I've heard
and
women
it's crazy.
say that before, but
So how can you be? My question is, if you're a woman and you're a true woman, and if I'm not saying you got to check every box, because ain't nobody gonna check every box, but if you sit down and try to, sit back and say, okay, who am I? What I can bring? What's my attributes as a woman?
yeah.
And you check a lot of these boxes off, and you say I'm not feminine. Go somewhere, please. Go have a seat.
Okay. All right. The wise woman. So the wise woman symbolizes wisdom, of course, intuition, and insight. And a lot of us women, we feel real strong about our intuition, and sometimes people try to play you like it ain't working. And we don't like that too much.
Intuition is fake.
Deep knowledge, not just knowledge, but deep knowledge and spiritual understanding, and the ability to guide and inspire others with profound wisdom and clarity. And then I'll do this last one, and then Jill, I'll let you get into some of the stuff that I know you pulled up. The lover. The lover embodies passion, sensuality, emotional connection, represents the aspects of femininity related to love, pleasure, and intimacy, as well as the ability to experience and express deep emotions and create meaningful relationships. And as I dug a little deeper, she knows when to use her sensuality to come up. So not at all times, not with all people, but smart enough to know when to turn it on and to turn it off. You can't be walking around dripping sensuality all day, every day. So there's those. So 4 different qualities, attributes of femininity. Did you see yourself? Don't tell. No. You could have, if you were me, you would have seen yourself in all of them at some point. And that's what I was talking about before as I thought about it.
And as you were going through those, like E said, just because we've only checked 8 out of the 10 boxes, doesn't mean that we are not feminine. As you were speaking on the different, what'd you call them? The different
archetypes.
Yeah, as you were speaking on the different types. So, for example, I will just call myself out. I do not stick up for myself. I will stick up for other people because I just don't really fight for me. When you talk about, he hit it when he said strength. So I am a strong woman. Clearly, I've had to be, but I do not like to be around people or situations in which I have to utilize that strength all the time. I would rather not be that person. But situations and life put us in different places. So, for example, I was probably more feminine when I was living with my daughter's father because he worked. He wanted me to stay home. I was the caretaker. I absolutely hated it. I am not that. I need to be out working, making a difference. With that being said, when I moved out on my own, now I'm the provider. So I'm still that woman who wears heels and makeup and everything else and is sensitive and cries all the time. But I have to get down to business and take care of things because the masculine man, and let's back up a little bit. Let's be real. I don't want a feminine man. What makes anyone think that a man wants a masculine woman? That's right. That's how I look at things. So every single phase and season of my life, I've been one of those things that you had listed. But I also think it's important to, again, like the man says, you can still be a feminine woman and get things taken care of. It's the whole culture, it's the whole society that has made us feel like being feminine is
weak,
has lost its virtue. Yes, completely.
That's right.
100%.
I agree with that. You said weak. Anything else you wanted to add to that, or you just?
No, I'm just saying.
Throw that out there.
It's just that's how these feminists think.
Yes.
They think that a man would just walk all over them, or you can't treat me like this, or I'm not supposed to be at home barefoot. No, we're not asking you to be at home barefoot and pregnant. Hey, if I have a role in this relationship, you have a role in this relationship.
Right.
So don't get mad because you expect me to fulfill my role, right? Mm-hmm. So same in you, in the female. Right. We expect it. And sometimes the roles get reversed every now and again because of the simple fact you might be stronger in an area that I'm weak in.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't think there's anything
There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
So
sure.
I might be stronger in an area you weak in. But
Right.
I'm not sitting there and say, oh, no, you can't cook, I can't deal with you.
Yeah.
I can cook. I can teach you how to cook. I might not can't wash clothes. Guess what you're going to show me how to do? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a balancing act when it comes to being a feminine woman and understanding your virtue as a man. I got to understand your virtue, your power, your worth.
Okay. So now I want to talk about, because this is just something that's going on. So before we're out of time, let's talk about some of the femininity that's going on today.
Oh, Lord.
Because it's a little scary. When I think about some of the women, I'm saying if I just talk about music.
Yes.
So I'll just mention a couple names, and I'm going to compare them. So Savage, the song, what is that, Megan?
Mm-hmm.
That's Megan
Thee Stallion.
Megan and the Nonce.
And the Nonce.
Bougie ratchet. Like that's the main part of it.
If I'm a savage and she kicks off calling herself a bee at the beginning of the song, and then she goes into all these other titles. And then Seven Streeter, there's a lot of songs that she says some crazy, nasty, ill things in as a woman. Rihanna, we know where she can go. You already said Beyonce, one of her latest Cuff It, some of the stuff she's saying in there. What is going on and why? Y'all mentioned somebody named Sexy Red. I don't even want to repeat her other title.
Glorilla,
it
there's
would
so
definitely be
many.
that. What do y'all think is going on? We got an overdose on lashes. Just what is it? What's going on?
What's going on?
So I think I know growing up, like, and this probably sounds kind of weird, but I don't view a man as my equal. I view a man as being superior. And I'll tell you why. Because that's how I grew up watching my mother treat my father. Making his play, like way beyond that. Like he took care of things that he took care of as a man, and my mother treated him as a superior. Because I talk about dogs all the time. There has to be an alpha. You have to know, in this just my opinion, you have to know who the alpha is. If I don't view you as my superior, you are not going to lead me, because I'm going to feel like both of us are the people who should lead. So I think a big part of it is how women are viewing not just themselves, but men, thinking that we're on the same level. No, we're not, sweetie. I'm not going to the service. If Iraq calls, I'm not going. I'm not climbing up on the roof. Like, there are things, I don't want to be equal with a man, and I don't believe that a female ever was or ever will be.
And you saying shouldn't be compared to that. Okay, and some women right now ready to bust the screen.
They're ready to jump through the screen.
But not my mama, she proud.
But you know something?
And I love it, Jill.
You know where it started from?
What?
When they started dividing the families.
Okay.
Yeah.
When they started taking men out the household. So when you subtract the man, a woman has to step up.
Okay.
And then on top of that, here's the flip side of that. When you call females, and I hate saying this word, but I'm gonna be quite honest. When you call yourself a bitch, and you think a man's supposed to respect you, when you're not respecting yourself by calling yourself bitches, hoes, and all this, let's make it be real clear. He would never respect you. Period. I don't care how much money you make. You walking around calling yourself I'm a boss bitch. Guess what you are? A bitch. Period. And that's that's all it is. That's all it is. You expect for a man to respect you. You expect for a man to take you out and do this, and you calling yourself these different types of names. Let's be realistic about it.
Amen.
That's what I'm gonna view you as.
Wow.
Right, because you don't respect you. If I don't respect me and I walk around looking like not respecting me, I cannot demand respect from anyone.
Exactly. Yeah, and I definitely agree with that. And that's what when I mentioned those songs of singers, etc. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So I mentioned their names. So I'll mention some other names, and you can look these wonderful women up from the Bible. But the Virgin Mary, of course, who was the devoted woman who obviously embodied faith, obedience, and purity. Ruth was an example of loyalty, kindness, and devotion. She modeled selflessness and faithfulness. Deborah, wisdom, leadership, and courage. Female strength and empowerment. And Esther, who was a queen. Esther, intelligence, courage, and beauty. Now, she used all of this to save the people from destruction. And she is a symbol of bravery and resourcefulness. So all of those words. So remember those names besides those other names we talked about. So when you hear that, now I'm just, as you say, we keeping it real. So femininity to me is respect.
Yes.
Respect to the man. So I just want to give my side not contrast, because I agree with that. So when you're married, I believe that that man is the head of that household, period. I do believe that. I believe that obviously he should treat and respect me, not do this, do that, and treat me a certain way. But in following God's leadership, then I follow his leadership. And so in that order. But at the same time, I've seen and witnessed the way women talk to and treat me, and it especially bothers me when they do that in public in front of other people, and they know what they're doing. And so that type of thing is totally not allowed, even according to the Word of God. And so you kicked off talking about the Proverbs woman, and I want to make sure we end it with talking about the Proverb 31:10 through 31 woman. Now, there's so many different attributes to the proverb woman. But one thing I want to say, because I'm sure there's some women, if I read all of those things, you would feel like me and say, this is impossible. Like, who is this chick? Like, does she got a cape on? She has to have on a super cape. So I want to bring some truth to this. So real quick, I'll say this about the proverb woman. Out of all of the things about this virtuous woman, it says her price was far above rubies. That means she's priceless, right? So I kind of narrowed down a couple things that I thought were qualities that I could live by. And you know, I looked at that thing, and I picked out 5 that belong to me. And those 5 are things that these are the 5 that I want to live by. These are the 5 that I set as a goal to make sure that I'm doing on a regular basis. And then if you read it, you should pick out the ones that you know you can live up to. Because the truth is, the proverb woman is really not a real, watch this, she is a literary figure. So it's a figure, but not a historical specific, right. She is not a specific woman in the Bible historically, but one that you can relate to, literally relate to. And so as you read it, because that's your homework assignment, as you read Proverbs 31:10 through 31, make sure you pick out some qualities that you decide and make a choice, because it's all a decision at the end of the day, but that you're going to live up to, because a wise woman sets boundaries for herself. So have you set any boundaries for yourself to say, no matter what I'm doing in my day, no matter what I'm doing in my life, there's certain things that I'm not going to compromise myself to do?
Yes.
Are you being an example for a young lady in this world? Or are you, you say, are you the biatch? Or are you the queen? And even a lot of women I know that say, oh, I'm a queen. Sis, you're a queen. They don't show that they're a queen. So the question at the end of the day is, who do you show you are?
Yes.
Not just who do you say you
That's
are.
a good one. That's a good one.
Is that good?
Yeah, because there's a lot of females that say I'm a queen, and I'm like, okay, queen. You sure ain't queening. I mean, it's just realistic about it.
Okay.
Because they want to put themselves on a pedestal and think they're on a level, and you be like, I know somebody that's way less than you and treat themselves with the utmost respect.
Right.
So, I mean, but as y'all read The Virtual Woman, understand one thing. It's part of that when they was talking about the man. The man part of it is he was an upstanding man in his community. Mm-hmm. So you can't go get a little Leroy that's hustling, been hustling for 30 years on the corner.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And think you're gonna move up. But at the end of the day, understand one thing from a man's perspective. I'm just gonna tell you from a brother. The way you treat yourself is the way that man's gonna treat you. Hands down, period. It's just bottom line. If you show yourself ratchet, he gonna treat you ratchet. Mm-hmm. If you show yourself as a queen, he ain't got no other reason to not respect you as a queen unless he's not insured with himself. Just that simple.
Okay. So, ladies, that means you need to go out, celebrate yourself, buy yourself flowers, take a nice bubble bath, chocolate, whatever you need to bring out your femininity. And maybe if E is right, then that means that man is watching you and he should do the same. Shower you with all the gifts, but more importantly, with all the respect and love you deserve. Y'all know we could talk about this thing because it's a lot to femininity. Look it up. Do some research. But as for us, Neutral Voices, this is it for us tonight. Thank you for hanging with us. And as we always say, before we exit, E.
Always protect your mind.
A podcast by Neutral Voices Media.
Your opinions important, so you gotta speak out. Don't let your chance to be heard pass by. Spell out, let me hear you loud, crowd. Shout it out real loud. Everybody wake up. Shout it out real loud. Everybody wake up. Wake up. No time for sleeping on the issues. This is Neutral Voices. We gon' deal with the issues. Wake up.